get the medevac, he can do the drop on the high ground. Always obnoxious to deal with, especially when there is a Viking there to defend. Now Tester is advancing towards this Xel'Naga watchtower at the north end. He needs to get this good position. He's already setting up this pylon, so he's in excellent shape. The Colossi are still hanging back on this high ground tower so they can defend this watchtower, and of course be able to have that good long vision range and see any sort of swing around attack. Looks like the little one is finally starting to advance forward. He sees this push now and will definitely be sieging up. Oh, Tester has to run away, trying to warp things in. A little bit vulnerable of a location. Two tanks siege up. There's some nice stim pulling back. The Zealots getting roasted. Here come the Colossi. Vikings doing a lot of damage to those. The tanks are just brutal against these ground units. The little one really getting the better of this attack. Getting in a good spot. It's just going to be these naked Colossi against this mix. And wow, Tester with some nice control there on the Colossus manages to pretty much end things in a draw. Little one did not lose quite everything. Still has that one tank up at the front. Tester lost a lot of his ground forces. It's going to be hard for him to be aggressive, but here come two more Vikings. These could be free kills for the little one if he spots them, and it looks like he just might be able to do that. Yes, he does manage to get up to the front. He's trying to get to the Colossi. Wow, 4 Colossi all up there at the same time. Tanks a lot worse against Colossi now that that range upgrade is out. Looks like Tester's just going for it. Little one in a very dangerous situation, already making a command center to try to expand to this gold. Tester has not taken the gold expansion himself yet. He's just trying to focus on this push at the front, and with these Vikings and this high ground ledge, I don't really see a way that Tester can get into the little one's front. Oh, this is great timing by the little one, getting all these Vikings out right as the huge surge forward of Colossi are coming up. And Tester getting a lot of Stalkers into this mix. Excellent composition by him as well. It's going to make it very difficult for the little one to pop out here. This is the perfect containment force, and look at how far back Tester places those Colossi. Anytime a Tester wants to kill Tester, I can give that one another shot. Anytime Vikings want to try to kill Tester's Colossi, it means that they will have to go very far around, and hold that thought. It looks like the Immortals demonstrating that they do in fact still have that hardened shield upgrade, taking almost no damage from those tanks, but very careful tank placement by Tester. Absolutely love that. Meanwhile, it does look like the Gold Expo is going up, more warp gates at the front. These two robotics facilities fully operational. Twilight Council up to get a little bit of blink. Little one had to cancel that Nexus, but hasn't given up on the idea of taking that Gold Expo soon. One Ghost out as well, 2 Evo Chambers, trying to set up for the double upgrades, but can't quite get those running. Oh, the Colossi, huge blunder by Tester. He loses one of the Colossi. Very bad. That is an easy mistake to do. You see one building floating off, you see one unit away from the rest, you want to snipe it with those Colossi, but one mistake, one misstep with those Vikings can lead to you losing much of your air force. Now, I like that the little one is holding back with these Vikings, not going to try to be too risky. The expansion is almost mined out. The main is even worse for the little ones. Same story for Tester. He's also getting Templar. Looks like he wants to go for a nice Templar Colossus mix. Seems like it's one of those ridiculous fantasies that you'd come up with in single player, but is in fact effective if you can get the gas to support it. Little one trying to rely on this ledge, hugging this edge, but God, Tester making the exact composition he needs to contain, and some of the forces just wandering out to the front for no reason. The Ghost needs to get a good AMP off, and that will just completely shut everything down. What are the Colossi doing? Just waltzed right in there for nothing. Got completely annihilated by the tanks and the Vikings, but still the Immortals are so strong they were able to absorb the tank fire, and all Marines being made by the little one. Marine, tank, Ghost, Viking. One brief land from the little one, seeing the only Stalker mix and having to pull back. Little one needs to be able to uncontain himself. He needs to bust free and be aggressive, because the big one, aka Tester, is in a dominating position at this point in time. More Immortals popping out, seeing all those tanks. Tester wants to make as many Immortals as he can, but one nice land from the little one to try to deny this harassment. Looks like he will just be sniping off one of the warping in units, then trying to go for the probes, but God, Tester, look at that nice follow shoot micromanaging to snipe off 3 Vikings on the exit. There's the Storm finally going down for the Templar, opting for Zealot legs instead of the Blink. Very uncharacteristic of Tester, but of course characteristic of every other Protoss player out there. And Little One finally getting the chance to expand, to get out to the front. It looks like he was going for that island, but is now going to back up for those destructible rocks. Hasn't even killed them yet. because he's just been too much under the gun from this big push coming up from Tester, and all these barracks from the Little One being about half operational. These two engineering bays can't quite continue to upgrade because the Little One is just in such an awkward spot. Now, we have seen the Little One do these huge mech plays and transitions into battle cruisers against Zerg, and against Protoss it looks like he's favoring this big Marine Marauder force, getting Ghosts in there as well, and tanks are another huge core part of this unit composition. So love the creativity and variety we're seeing from the Little One. Tester getting a very good setup here, has already taken his Gold Expo and is gearing up to take this bottom area. Love this positioning as well, as tanks and Vikings make it a little bit too threatening to take these high ground areas without blink. More nice movement by Tester. He wants to try to poke around here, get these supply depots. It's going to put Little One in a very stressful spot as he'll lose more vision of his main and obviously go into the red supply. More Marines, Ghosts being pumped out by the Little One. Hasn't started those upgrades yet, but finally that expansion is about to get up and operational. The instant those SCVs get out of the way, oh, Little One finally manages to land it. And the Mules taking the long route, the precious Mules taking way too far, as they are a time-based resource. They do dissipate after 90 seconds. Little One doing a little bit more harass with these Vikings. Doesn't look like any more Colossi are coming out anytime soon for Tester. So it looks like these Vikings being put to use for just hitting these probes and this assimilator at this back end, but needs to be a little bit careful as that one Immortal can do serious damage. And no shot's going to be fired at all. It didn't have an observer there. Can't get vision up to the high ground. Tester also gearing up to expand to the north end. And oh, here comes the blink directly into the main. Those blink stalkers should be targeting those tech labs. There they go. Excellent play to kill these tech labs. It means that you know exactly what sort of units you are up against. And they are the weakest Terran structures, so you can easily take those out to get a nice little boost. And it looks like the Little One not withdrawing back into his base, but instead trying to siege from the outside and deal with this attack from there. And it looks like finally the Little One realizing that with those blink stalkers he's going to have to pull back. And look at already the Little One's money soaring as he cannot really spend it. Wow, nice EMP getting about half of those stalkers. And already got to be careful if you are Tester in this spot, as you are backing away into an area where you cannot blink to retreat. There's the stim going down. A lot of those stalkers taking serious damage. There's the blink, but a few too many of those stalkers ended up dying on the exit. Have to be a little bit more careful there. And it looks like in the meantime, huge drop by the Little One manages to have taken out this gold expansion. That those blinks with stalkers were distracting even me, the observer, and at the same time these Vikings still being as annoying as ever. Little One loves being passive with these tanks, sieging himself up in the center, impossible to break, and then doing these big harassment drops. And as we can see, the Little One abusing the fact that those stalkers were in the back of his base. Tester was not looking there. Now finally retaking the Gold Expo, and Tester also retaking his main. Tester almost broke on money. The Little One in a much better economic situation with his Gold Expo, and also gearing up to take the island or that northern area himself. Look at the Little One knowing that all his barracks were done, having to rebuild absolutely everything, and in addition throwing down a ton of bunkers to be in a good defensive position. Looks like this huge force of wow, look at Tester's mix. All these Immortals to deal with the heavy units, with the tanks, with the Thors if those do end up coming, with the Marauders, and of course the Templar to be able to deal with all those infantry trying to pull back. But another drop from the Little One in the back. More storms going off. He's going to also try to feed back some of those medevacs, doing some more great shots, storming everything. The Little One trying to micro as best he can. When the entire area is blanketed with storms, it becomes quite a bit more difficult. But either way, look at this. Looks like Tester is not really mining in any location except for this north main, the most vulnerable location for him on the map. Medevacs have pulled back right now. Little One going to be going into passive mode for just a moment. Going for the double command center. Both of these are very likely to be morphed into planetary fortresses. Once you're getting close to maxed, that's the only way that you can set up a decent defense for the later parts of the game. So it looks like the Little One is just using this one last Marine to do some magic before it finally dies. And there's the 3-2 upgrades going down for the Little One. Little One also gearing up to make some Hellions, it appears. He's already gotten the Blue Flame upgrade, the Infernal Pre-Igniter. He will be able to roast through all of those Zealots, Templar, and Sentries. Looks like more dropship action going on from the Little One. Wants to make sure no expanding happens on that south side. And we can see the Little One scouting into the main, but still no vision up on that north end. Has absolutely no idea that there's anything there. And look at this, sneaking a barracks into the main. Very cute play, but meanwhile up at the top end, an observer does see that this gold expansion is almost out, so the Little One might need to start making these into orbital commands instead of going for this sort of planetary fortress defense. Very cool play. A nuke going off. Thank God for you, the Little One. Trying to get a good shot off on that army, but Tester notices well in time. And this one Templar is there to get a little bit of radiation poisoning. So it looks like the medevac's now pulling back. This is so brilliant. He can even sneak a ghost into the main, but it's going to be hard when these two observers pop right out. But still, it was fun while it lasted. Charge, just annihilating that one lone Marine. Very small size of army for Tester. He's just been so battered by this harassment from the Little One that he's had a hard time amassing a very big force. On the other hand, the Little One way up at 170 food. Beautiful defense setup here. More Hellions coming out right now. Still hasn't rebuilt those tech labs on the barracks, and there is the second nuke finishing right now, and the Little One has spotted the north expansion. Oh, it's picking off the pylon. Those two zealots will die on the warp in. The observer does see the planetary fortress there as well, and this is one gone Nexus Tester trying to re-expand to the bottom, but as we've seen before, it's exactly where the Little One likes to float his medevacs. It will be a vulnerable position as the game progresses on. So excellent defense set up by the Little One. Tester, who had these beautiful techniques in the early games, having a little bit of a hard time as the game progresses. Can't quite deal with that harassment. Needs more observers than he can really afford. And no matter really where Tester ends up sweeping his forces, he still has to deal with the Little One apparently relentlessly building barracks in his